Hello, FHGEN 140 students. Welcome to this brief tutorial about understanding genealogical citations. So, citations are really important in genealogical writing, and so I want to start at the beginning and to discuss what are citations and why do we cite information. So, citations are references to books, papers, or other sources. That you put them within your work to show where you got that information. So we cite information because we don't want to claim someone else's work as our own. We want to let people know where our information comes from. This is really important as BYUI students who have signed the honor code. You cannot take the credit for somebody else's work. We want other researchers to be able to find the information we've written about. As family history students, you will put together information that is of value to other people. They're going to want to be able to look at the original source to be able to research their own family. So you'll want them to be able to find that information. And then we want sources to help prove what we have claimed. It goes a long way to proving a claim when you have good sources that back up your statement when you say that these are the parents of, this ancestor. It helps to have sources that prove that information, especially as we work further on in this course and you start writing proof summaries and proof statements and do evidence analysis. You need to have citations in the middle for those. Okay, so what citation do genealogists use? What style do we use? So there are several different style guides. We follow the style outlined in the Chicago Manual of Style. You'll also hear words like, you'll hear Turabian, maybe that's an abbreviated version. You might hear evidence explained and evidence, and those are genealogy-specific versions. So citations are found in footnotes and endnotes, not within the text. That would be MLA. The first footnote contains a full citation, and then subsequent footnotes, subsequent references within those footnotes are abbreviated. Included bibliographies, especially for those longer papers, contain full citation information. And bibliographic citation differs slightly from your footnotes, but not by much. It's more just a matter, usually it's a lot more, the formatting is a tiny bit different, and there are more periods rather than commas. So a footnote citation in Chicago style follows this rule. So you say the author or authors' names, the title of the resource, the publication information, and date. And that is pretty straightforward. You'll find that it gets a little bit more complicated as you're using primary sources. So what style of citation do genealogists use? So we use Chicago, of course, but because we use different sources than most of the humanities, professional genealogists have developed guides that are specific to our discipline, especially specific to the use of extensive primary source material, and things like family group sheets, pedigree charts, family search, the International Genealogical Index, the IGI. We use a lot of sources that other disciplines do not use. So we have a couple of style guides. The first is, they're both by Elizabeth Shown Mills. The first is Evidence Citation Analysis for the Family Historian. This was published back in 1997, and it's a pretty slim little volume. The more recent guide that she published is Evidence Explained, and there's a website, evidenceexplained.com, where you can go and you can read some of the discussions about different citation methods, and you can actually ask questions, and they'll be answered. They'll probably not quickly enough for one of your assignments. So in the FHGEN program, we also have a basic guide for citing sources, and I'll talk about that in just 1 second. So Evidence Explained looks like this. It's about 3 inches thick, and Evidence is the slim white volume. I want to take you to our course page. So here we are on our course page. I want to show you how to find that great guide to citing sources that has been put together for our FHGEN students. If we go up here and we click on content, it will pull up all over here on the left. It pulls up all of the lessons in order. If you scroll down to the very bottom, we have a resources section. If you click on that, it pulls up all of these resources. It would be great for you to read through these. There's a lot of information that's very helpful. So I'm going to click here on the Guide to Citing Sources, and this has been put together for our FHGEN courses. And up here it tells us a little bit about the Chicago Manual Style and Evidence Explained and Evidence. And if we scroll down here, it's going to talk about footnotes and how to put together footnotes. And it'll tell you about shortened references and referring back to it. And then it will give you some examples about how to cite various original documents. So this is a great resource for you. This is unique to this program. Okay, so you know now where you can look to figure out how to correctly format a citation, but I wanted to show you how you would cite a source within your document within one of your papers. Okay, so I'm writing a paper here, and I have my first sentence. It says, in Evidence Explained, the author outlines 2 goals: to provide citation models and to help the reader understand each record type. Well, that is a quote from not a quote, but that's information that I took from Evidence Explained. So I need to cite that. So I'm going to go here, and I'm going to come up here. I'm in the newest version of Microsoft Word, which you can download for free through the BYUI site. So that would be a great idea for you to do. So I'm going to go in here, and I'm going to click right here, and it says Insert Footnote. So I'm going to insert a footnote right there, and it's going to take me down to the footnote. Now, we know how to cite a book because we checked that in our style guide for the department. So I'm going to type the name of the author, and it's Elizabeth Schoen Mills. And I'm going to type in all of this information. Okay, so Elizabeth Schoen Mills, and then we'll have a comma, and then the title of the book, which is Evidence Explained, and that's in italics. And it's got a big subtitle here. It's Evidence Explained, Citing History, Sources, from Artifacts to Cyberspace. Okay, let's fix that right there. Okay, the next thing that we need to do is we need to say, this actually, the one that I pulled it out from was the 2nd edition. 2nd edition. Okay, then we're going to put the publisher's name and the date of publication. So we're going to write Baltimore and Genealogical Publishing Company, and that was 2007. And then right here we'll put the page number, and that was in page 10. So it's fairly straightforward, as you see: author, title, publishing information. And then right here we have a page number. So that's how you would insert a citation and how you would cite a book. So, of course, various citations can get a little bit trickier, but as you move throughout the semester, that's something that you can improve upon. I know that's something that is fairly easy to look up in either the style guide that the department provides or in Evidence Explained. So let's recap what we talked about. Okay, so to recap, first, citing sources is crucial in genealogical writing. The second point would be correctly cited sources help both the writer and reader to locate the original sources. And genealogists use the style outlined in the Chicago Manual of Style. And a useful guide for genealogists is Evidence Explained. We talked about how to insert a footnote and how to type the source citation within the footnote. So I think you're ready to go. Go ahead and start citing sources. Good luck.